no other opportunity like this would have ever arisen had it not been like everyone's stuck in their homes, have no choice but to listen to me.
Welcome to Wander By Proxy, a podcast featuring women's travel stories that connect them more to themselves and the world around them. I'm Leah Fallon, and today we're hearing from Jennifer Parnall, a music teacher from Canada who will be teaching for 2 years in Spain. Now, of course, she's quarantined there, but she's maintaining a sense of community by performing music from her 5th floor apartment every day. Here's Jennifer.
I'm from Canada, and music's obviously been a huge part of my life, and I've been teaching now. This is my fifth year teaching. And in Canada, it's quite difficult to get a permanent position as a teacher, especially in Ontario anyway. And my parents had always been traveling when I was younger, so I kind of had that wander bug already. And when I went to teachers college and I was looking at jobs, I was just so impatient, and I wanted to go and explore the world, and I wanted to have my own classroom and all this. So I actually moved to China for my first year teaching and did a bunch of traveling in Southeast Asia, which I'm so grateful for. But I didn't last much longer than a year in China. It was quite challenging. So then I moved to Luxembourg, and for those 3 years, it was incredible. I loved my position there. I loved the people and the family that I made there. And I saw so much of Europe. But as you said, it's incredible that my job kind of led me to travel and work as well, which is great. And now I'm in Barcelona, but not traveling because of the quarantine.
Wow. So how long were you intending on staying in Barcelona?
Well, I have a 2-year contract with the school that I'm at. So who knows? I mean, it could be extended or it could be taking me somewhere else. I don't know where my path is leading just yet.
How did you find this opportunity in Barcelona?
Well, because of my experience in Luxembourg at the international school there, I met a lot of people. It's all about contacts, right? It's all about who you meet. And there's this organization that I'm a part of. It's called AMIS, A-M-I-S, and it's the Association of Music in International Schools. And so you just make contacts through this organization. And I saw that there was a job posting in Barcelona. And I'd been to Barcelona once before on holiday, and I loved it. And I came out here for an interview and just kind of fell in love with the city and thought, oh gosh, this could be amazing. And so far, it's obviously quite challenging to live in a country that you don't speak the language, and just culturally too, it's been challenging. But I have to say, I know how strange this might sound, but this quarantine is probably the best thing that could have happened for me and Barcelona's relationship.
Really? How so?
Well, I just, for the last several months, I just felt quite out of place here. So as a Canadian, I speak some French because that's one of our national languages. So in Luxembourg, I got around just fine. I could speak French, I could speak English. And here it's Catalonia, so there's a lot of Catalan, there's a lot of Spanish, some English, but not a lot. And so I was struggling really to connect with people besides the people I work with, who are all American, Canadian, English speakers. So I was, finding it really, really difficult to kind of find my place here. And I always felt like everyone in the street was always in a rush to go somewhere, and people would bump into you. And again, coming from Canada, it's always these cultural differences, but coming from Canada, you're super polite and you respect people's spaces and all this. And I just really felt I just didn't belong. But now, since our quarantine, we're all taken aback. We have to step back and just relax and breathe, and we can't go anywhere. We can't be running around. And now with these quarantine concerts that I've been doing, I know my neighbors, and I'm feeling connected to people, and it's just a really beautiful thing because that would never have happened. It really wouldn't. I wouldn't have known the people across from me. I wouldn't have connected with them on social media, and they wouldn't have anyway. And with the little English that they know and the super, super minimal Spanish that I know, we're still connected and we're still communicating somehow, and it's really cool.
Why did you start the concerts?
Okay, so I think it was only 3 or 4 days after we were completely locked down, after they called quarantine in Barcelona. I had started virtual lessons on school, for school, and I really just I don't know. I was struggling with it. I was having a really rough day. We were having so many meetings and on like Zoom or on Google Chat, and it was just so overwhelming. And I was just feeling like, oh, I can't go on like this. So I had seen a bunch of people in Italy because they were locked down before us. I saw a bunch of people in Italy singing songs or playing their saxophone or like all getting together in their neighborhood, just out on their balconies. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. I feel like music will just help me. It always does when I'm in a mood. It always makes me feel better. So I just started singing All You Need Is Love by the Beatles, because that song they sang on a rooftop, and I'm like on the fifth floor, so I thought that would be kind of cool. And that's all I intended to do, was just to do that one song. And then people like started opening their doors and their windows and coming out on their balconies. And then they were like shouting out requests like Elton John. So then I did your song. And then one guy wanted the Cranberries. And of course, like I only know one song, Zombie. And yeah, I just was using my like Ultimate Guitar app on my phone and finding the chords and lyrics. And then they were saying, come, same time tomorrow. And so it just kept going. And then I was kind of panicking because I would realize that our quarantine is going to like keep getting longer and longer. So I was like, I should probably just limit it to 4 songs a day, because I don't want to like run out of songs that I can play, you know? And yeah, so today was the 33rd quarantine concert. And I've been singing and playing either on my ukulele or my guitar or my piano, and singing 4 songs a day.
That's so fun. What did you play today?
So today was a musical inspired day, because I don't know if you knew this, but Andrew Lloyd Webber has been streaming his musicals for free during the weekends. So it's like 24 hours on YouTube. And I think it's on YouTube. I saw mine on YouTube anyway. So I watched The Phantom of the Opera this morning. Yes. And I love that musical. And I had the privilege of watching that in London, England, but not with like the original cast. This is the original cast. And anyway, so I was like, oh man, I haven't sung those songs in forever. So I started getting into that. So today was a musical day. Sometimes I have themes. Sometimes it's completely random. Like between, not rap, I've never done a rap one, but just between like crazy ballads to like super poppy songs. But yeah, Sound of Music, I think, Sound of Music I started with, and then there was Mamma Mia, and I ended with Phantom of the Opera. So it was a good day.
I'm a huge Beatles fan, and I saw your video where you're singing with a little help from my friends, and I've been thinking about that song so much with quarantine that it was just perfect. I like woke up and saw the video, and it just warmed my heart. That was so great.
Yes, I thought that was like the perfect, and I definitely was thinking about my friends and people now that I have become friends with just by posting that on Girls Love Travel. It's a great song. The Beatles, just everything. They just nailed it.
They really did. Are you able to speak with your neighbors after these concerts, or do you get feedback somehow?
Well, there was this one day, because someone was like, why don't you put your Instagram tag out there, and then they could send you requests for songs. So I made this really, really awful sign, and someone helped me translate like send requests in Spanish. And so, yeah, they found me on Instagram. And so some of my neighbors have sent me requests or like really lovely, lovely messages saying like, we know that you're alone in quarantine. If you ever need anything, we're right here. It was really, really sweet. Because obviously, like, this is not easy for anybody. Even if you are living with somebody in quarantine and have a family, like, that's tough on its own. And being alone in quarantine, again, like, we're all having those struggles. So it was really sweet of them to, like, reach out and say that they're there, even though, like, we can't physically be there together. It's funny because my neighbors across the street, they're the ones who can truly only see me, because I can't put my keyboard out on the balcony. It's too small. The balcony is too small. So the people who look at me give me feedback just by like looking at me and smiling at me. And I love that, and just seeing that. And then others who can't necessarily see me, they take a video of like the street, and I guess just get like the street sound, because it's really interesting. It's not a stage. It's like I'm battling the street sounds and the fact that we're like, a neighborhood. So it's really cool that they will send me some of the audio that they hear from their balcony, whether it's up the street, down the street, across, or like on my side of the street. And so in that way, it's really cool because then I get to hear what it sounds like from their perspective. And so that's in some ways that they tag like my concert, or they tag a video that they've recorded from their balcony. And then more or less they just send me requests, which is really great because sometimes like the inspiration doesn't really always come. Like, what do I want to sing today? It's every day, right? So it's nice to know what they want to hear. And sometimes it's really challenging because it's like a super rock and roll song that I don't have like an electric grungy guitar to play on, but I love the challenge. And even though it kind of started off for me, kind of releasing some of that negative energy, I really love that it's started to be part of them too, and what they want to hear, and they want to be involved.
Do you think you're still able to experience Spain in some way, even though you're kind of in a limited situation?
Yes, I think so. In Catalonia anyway, they have this, I actually don't know what it means or where it came from, but sometimes people like bang pots and pans together, and every night at 8:00 we all go outside and clap for the healthcare workers. And I don't know, it's just, you still get the sunshine. That's very Spanish. You still get the language. I can hear it outside when I have my windows open. My neighbor right directly across from me here, they speak to me in Catalan or Spanish, and we have a conversation even though I'm kind of like, I don't know what you're saying, and oh yes, ballet, So I do definitely feel like I'm still experiencing some of Spain, some of Catalonia, but it's definitely like me in my little bubble here as well. So I'm looking forward to the day we open the doors for sure.
Yeah. How do you think your experience is going to change after all this?
I'm definitely a lot more positive. I'm not going to lie. I was in a negative space for sure. It's just the challenges of moving to a new place, and especially not understanding the language, and especially not connecting with people. But I am feeling way more positive. And I think I'm just, going to go for it. If people don't want to talk to me, that's fine. But I'm just still going to make an effort to kind of try to connect more with the people who live in my barrio here. La Gracia is so wonderful. It's like such great vibes. And, who cares if we don't speak the same language? I have to be a little bit more confident. And I do feel that now. So
that's great. What do you think about quarantine kind of made that switch?
Well, just the concerts. Honestly, it was just me putting, I guess, like, it is confidence, right? It is putting yourself out there, especially with music. It's the most vulnerable thing because I didn't think they would like it. You're just doing it for you. And then if they do, and then they want to hear more, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And no other opportunity like this would have ever arisen had it not been like everyone's stuck in their homes, have no choice but to listen to me. But if they're still coming out each day, and oh my gosh, the little girls across the street, they're so sweet. And they, Jennifer. And so if it's something that brings them joy and positivity, it's brought me so much joy and positivity. So that's honestly what I think's changed for me in quarantine.
That's awesome. How long do you think you'll continue the concerts?
Well, I have this vision, just like the Beatles, I wanted to do on the last day, like whenever that is. But it's going to be tricky because I think it might be a very spontaneous thing, as this whole quarantine was like, oh, right away in a couple hours, like everyone's locked down. So I have a feeling it might be the same with when we're allowed to leave. But anyway, on the last day of this quarantine, I want to go to the roof. Like I have rooftop access and I'd love to go up there. I just need to figure out some kind of power outage situation and just like rock it. I just want to have like a finale concert and just do a bunch of like the best hits of the quarantine series or the quarantine concert series and just have, and then just go out in the street and have a celebration and party and dance and have a good time.
As a huge Beatles fan with no musical talent, performing on a rooftop sounds like a dream to me. Thank you for listening to Wander By Proxy. I heard of Jennifer when she posted a video of one of her concerts on the Girls Love Travel Facebook page. Check out her concerts on Instagram. Her handle is in the show notes. You can see her neighbors in the background of a few of them, and they are so heartwarming. Don't forget to follow Wander By Proxy on your social channels for episode extras and pictures from our travelers.